What's up, everyone? My name is Candace Smith, and this is Pasco Connect. And I'm so excited to be joined here with Christina Boneta, leader of Black Lives Matter-Pasco. What's up?
Christina.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm I'm good. How are
Yes,
you?
I'm doing good. Everything,
I think
20,
we're
yeah, having a little technical difficulties, but we gonna just go through it. But I see that it's like a little delay. It might be a little delay, but that's okay. We're 16 days into
we're gonna push
2020.
through it.
Right. We just gonna push through it. And 2021 seems to be a continuation of 2020, where a lot of just things that we've never seen before is happening. And so maybe we could just start off there. The latest is our president, President Trump, has been impeached twice, So what do you think about that?
Yes,
What are your
girl.
thoughts on that?
Well, him being impeached is definitely something that need to happen. And I know people probably think it's a tit for tat. Oh, he's about to be out anyway, but it's really not that. If he wasn't impeached, he'd be able to run again. And, that's a problem. Obviously, we see the state that the country's in since he's been president. I don't think 4 more years of him, I mean, if we already see the crazies come crawling out the caves just because he was president, he basically is cool with the Proud Boys. He literally incited a riot on the Capitol. So it's like
Yeah.
he was. I haven't been alive forever, but this is the craziest thing I've seen since I've been alive. More crazier than 9/11. So yeah.
Right, exactly. That's the thing about it. You did make a good point. That's the reason for impeaching him. I do hear a lot of people and I see a lot of comments
Mm-hmm.
of people like, oh, well, he's about to be out anyway. What's the use of going through this? That is a very good reason for going through with impeaching him because he has a fan base. Let's
Mm-hmm.
call it what it is. He has a fan
Yes.
base and he's been able to raise a lot of money, still continuing to raise a lot of money in supporting him, and that's dangerous. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad for the impeachment. And speaking of the riot,
Yeah. How do we think Hitler came to power?
right, exactly. It's like speaking of the riot, I think it's been some people from Pasco County that were kind of like spotted out there. And I just find that so
Mm-hmm.
crazy how they spent basically an entire summer, saying that
Yes.
there's no reason for protesting. And they stormed the Capitol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're delayed, so I want to make sure I'm not cutting you off. Um, but it is pretty crazy because um, a few of them, went like there's a little group of them that used to come and counter protest, really we used to protest how it started. There's a little group of them that want to, they're called the Trumpers, the Back the Blue crew, sprinkle little Proud Boys in there. Anyway, there's a clique of them that would come, and we started protesting on Main and 19. That was what we did every day, about 15, or not every day, I'm sorry, every Friday at 7:30, about 15 of us. Well, they got wind of that and they felt the need to go ahead and take our spot, like children. So you know what? We're not here for that. We gave it to them. We go to another spot. So like, you know what? Let's take all four corners of 19. You know what? Whatever, we'll give it to them. Not here for them. So we start doing our thing. They, basically find us, always doing whatever, to the point where they even named the road Trumpets. Anyways, what I'm saying this is these people came out and made our lives hell, did whatever they could to terrorize us, called us terrorists. Audrey, one of the ones that was found in the Capitol, this lady came out every time we were out pretty much and literally terrorized us. She said, she called us just a lot of things I'm not going to say. During moments of silence, the lady would try to fight me. She would call me out to try to fight me. Basically, the whole, stereotype, don't abort your baby, get on welfare, get a job, that whole thing. This lady would just come out and terrorize us. So I find it kind of crazy that BLM-Pasco has never littered, looted, burnt, broke. We've never done nothing but peacefully protest. You got these people terrorizing us. You have the police targeting us and not saying anything to the other side, hence megaphone fines for just our side. To watch them go into the Capitol and be treated the way Black Lives Matter has been treated. And that's the fact that we all know. If we would have went there, we would have been shot, pepper sprayed, shot. We wouldn't even have made it through the front. So to see them all go into the Capitol unharmed like that, it's just a perfect example of what happened all summer. All summer we were targeted. All summer, it was our fault. It was our fault. It was our fault. As you can see, all summer we were nothing but peaceful. Here we go into 2021. The same people that were terrorizing us were at the Capitol. That is just, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. That's what I said when the names started being, dropped and people were getting exposed. To see her background, because I read the article that the Tampa Bay Times did on her. She was this singer who supposedly went all over the country singing, and she has clout in Pasco County. She has a voice in Pasco County. And so to see her use that for what she uses it for was very disappointing. And it shows how a lot of people that's in public office and, that sit behind the badges and things like that, that's how they really feel. That's how they feel about the government. Anytime the government supports brown or Black people or supports equal rights, they're upset about that because they want to always stay in a higher position. That's their thing. And anytime they feel threatened when we get equal rights, when we get more rights and we're recognized as being disenfranchised, they feel threatened. They feel like their positions are, subject to being lost. All of the privileges that they have and they've gotten used to, they feel it being threatened. And that's what they really been wanting to do all summer. They've been wanting to.
And that's why I'm glad it happened, the Capitol, because I'm glad people got to see the difference in how people are treated. Because those same people that went into the Capitol was the same person that would come to us and say, well, Black people wouldn't get shot. You wouldn't get shot if you would follow the law. It's funny because wasn't Jesus hung on the cross because he broke the law? All these people are like modern day Pharisees and Sadducees because there's all these laws and you break one law, it's okay to just, you know what I'm saying? And half of them are Christian. Audrey's always putting that stuff up there, but it's funny because Jesus said, which one of you is without sin, throw the first stone. Y'all doing the same stuff y'all did to Jesus. Like y'all want to act like you just get to shoot somebody because you feel they broke a little law. But it goes to show white and Black though, because y'all knew y'all could go into that Capitol and y'all was not going to be shot and killed the way a Black person would be shot and killed. And that's why they were comfortable to go in and do it because they knew that their white life meant way more than a Black life would ever mean in this country, period, point blank. So they run around and think they're not racist in their mind. They think they're not because they don't say the N-word, because they're not hanging us and we're not slaves. But you're right about one thing. White supremacy is something they cannot let go of. We have to know that, you know what? Yeah, we're better than you though. We're better than you. Hence Jim Crow area. Like, just know, like, yeah, you might be integrated and stuff, but I need you to understand, like, I'm better than you. I am white. They don't want that to disappear. They don't want that to disappear. You're very right about that. Like, because the KKK done stormed the Capitol once before too.
And they recognize clearly the system. I feel like a lot of us are just beginning to see things and understand how it is run, but they have a clear-cut understanding of we're the ones who are making the laws. We're the ones who are upholding the laws. So if the ones upholding the law not going to uphold it for a certain group of people, of course we're going to get away with more. That's why they were bold enough to piss in the halls and leave feces in the halls of the U.S. Capitol. That's why
But
they
they're patriots and they love their country.
right.
And their reasoning for it was what? But you want to compare it to Black Lives Matter. Your reason is that you're just a bunch of spoiled white people. I'm sorry. You're spoiled. And when you get spoiled and you get mad, you do little kid stuff like that. Because let me tell you, I still don't get the reason.
Yeah.
Because Trump didn't win. But I thought you backed your country though. That would mean
Right.
whatever president was there though. But yet, but Black Lives Matter is a problem because some groups of Black Lives Matter burnt and looted a few things because they tired of being killed for no reason.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Trump really, told them in certain ways that their way of life was in danger, and that the American way of life has been interpreted to them much different than it's been told to us.
yeah.
The American dream has been told to us that if you work hard, you're gonna get this and you can have that. But the American reality is there are certain peoples in positions of power and they do whatever they have to do to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real American way. And I
Yep.
just feel like last year was just a big awakening, like of just being
Yes.
able to clearly see like this is what it is and this is how it's always been, but it can't be anymore because now we know.
Oh, it's anyone that was asleep, like they awake now. Like you can't. That's why for me, even though a lot of things are tragic that's happened, like everything happened. It's all lined up for a reason. Between the pandemic, between George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, what happened at the Capitol, like it is all exposing this country. And sometimes, like they say, people got to hit like rock bottom. Well, black the white side of this nation ain't hit that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't hit that because nobody's making them accountable. They just comfortable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's going out there and protesting against their government. No one's standing up for certain things. No one's holding people accountable, for the governor in Flint. Like we should have, things like that. We should not let they get away with it basically because us as a people, whether you're white or black at this point, white or black, you know what I'm saying? We just let them, like we just let them do it. And I think everyone's eyes is open now to just everything, everything going on. We had time. We home, our kids are home, there's a pandemic, like we had time. Like
Yeah.
we had too much time to see, that's why I had me protesting. Like I had time to sit here, look at what happened with George Floyd, understand what and take it in, and it pissed me off. And I think it pissed a lot of people off because we got to sit down for a moment and go, dang, like, this is our country, this is where we're at. We settled. We're not, black folks ain't never had full liberation. We just settled. We're like, damn, well, we're not getting lynched. Damn, we're not slaves. Well, dang, we're not, you know what I'm saying? We just settle. Like, and that's why people go, what you crying for? What do you mean you're equal? But like, really though, they don't, they just think, oh, but you're not a slave no more. Everything's good, right?
Right. No,
Like,
I
okay.
feel like a lot of people see it though, I feel like especially a lot of the white older generation, they definitely know and they're maybe trying to educate the younger generation, but they're rebellious against it. The younger generation is rebellious against that whole mindset.
Yeah.
A lot of white parents will quickly remind their children of like, look, this is how you get this. This is how you have this. You better vote this way. You better do this. And those conversations really happen in families. And that's how stuff is passed on generationally, the same way I sit and speak with my sons about the dangers, of when they're out, and especially in the areas that we live in. Come on, somebody.
Yeah, especially.
So I have to have this talk, but that's how those things continue to pass on. And it's only until we stop and say, you know what, this is not okay for my son to experience. It's not okay.
We shouldn't have to have the talk. It's been going on too long. We should not have to have the talk no more in America in 2021 with our black children. Are white people having the talk? Then why we got to have the talk? We should not have to be still doing this. Still telling our children, be careful. White people don't like you. Be careful. Make sure your hands out the window. Don't move too fast. You might get shot. Like, it's not right. It is not right. We still should not be doing this now. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair to Black children. It's not fair that we got to give our children the talk, but they don't. It's cool. They just get to go on, you know?
Right.
No, just whatever.
Yeah, it's real. It's really real. Over the summer, you know, I realized why my son, he's 18, he'll be 19 this year,
Yeah.
why he does not feel motivated to drive. You know, and that was when I was growing up a big deal, you know, to be 16 and have an opportunity to get a license. It's an American milestone. It's an American, you know, experience for a lot of, you know, transitioning into adulthood.
Yeah.
And he does not feel motivated to do that. And within speaking with other Black moms, we kind of recognize like, yeah, you know, my son kind of feel the same way, where he doesn't really want to drive, or like they don't learn to drive until later on. They're not like,
I didn't drive till I was 27, and I'm a female.
you know,
I didn't start driving till I was 27.
That's what I'm saying. It's like little things like that. I feel like we haven't even looked into enough as far as how it's affecting our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
it does. You're paranoid. You drive. Your insurance is good. Your license is good. Your tags are good. Your seatbelt's on. You're going the speed limit. But it's something about just the like you just. I don't know. I don't know if white people feel that way. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask a few.
They
like,
don't.
do you feel that anxiety when
don't.
a police officer's on the road, even when you know you're doing everything right? Because even though you're doing everything right, he might find that little thing wrong, and then you're pulled over, and then everything that you was doing right is now wrong, and now like that's it. Like
they don't have that same feeling. They don't. I've heard, you know, I've watched different documentaries and just spoken with different people. They don't share that same feeling. They feel like just going through life, when they interact with the police, they don't see what we see. They see their peer. They see their, you know, and that's what gets lost when people
that's just crazy.
Behind the badge, they gotta see us as people. If they see us automatically as criminals, as a potential threat, that's how we're constantly being treated, and that's why we live in fear. Because
that's just crazy. We're in a nation where they feel two different ways. Like we feel like they endanger our lives, and these people feel like they save their lives. It's just crazy, you know?
Yeah.
It's just.
It is. But, you know, I still feel things are changing with the help of you and organizations like you. You know what I'm saying? You all have been on the front line. And as a result, there was, you know, citations given to you and given to different members of the group for standing up, shouting loud, you know, loud and, you know, making people upset, but hey, you'll be all right. But as a result, you all were given citations, which would have been a big financial burden, you know, and disruption to your lives. But this year, I see where you posted that those charges were dropped.
Yes. Yes, they were. They were all dropped. Yes.
That is amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. And you know, I've been keeping up. I don't miss too much now. So I saw where first, you know, they offered y'all a plea deal, right?
Yeah, and with that said, you know, even though we could have been facing a lot of money, the fact is like we knew we're being targeted and they were wrong. So my thing was, me and my group is, we weren't going to give in for nothing, even $75. Because if anything, that just proved, y'all just look at, because what they want is for us to go, dang, that's a lot of money. Dang, that, and do what other people do. Granted, we were lucky. We had lawyers. Other people don't. So what they do is that whether they're guilty or not, they take the little no contest guilty, and then they look guilty. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to be like, hey, well, we'll do it for $75 if you guys just plead, you know, no contest or guilty. and the next day they drop them. That was their last attempt because they knew what they were doing. But see, they had the wrong one. They had the wrong one. I was the wrong one because all they did is every time they attacked us, did what they did to Marlo, the noise violations, everything they did let me know we were doing something right and I was not budging. So as much as they try to get us from the root, when they arrested Marlo and me, they tried to knock us down then, but that did not work because what happened? They had 200 to 300 people in their city. So then what do they try to do? They try to get me with the megaphone. They thought that was going to stop us. No, boo-boo, Nina don't need a megaphone. So we kept, doing it. So at the end of the day, they lost. They lost this battle because all they wanted to do was flex on us. And it didn't work. It didn't work. We stuck to our guns, which I recommend everybody do when you know that you're right. Like, know the law, know you're right. Because at the end of the day, they target us, they was wrong, and they know it. And it feels so good to literally sat there no matter what, stuck to our guns, our lawyers did their thing, and to have those all dropped because it was just wrong in the first place. Like I said, we never looted, we never burnt, we never did nothing wrong but practice our right to freedom of speech, and that was a problem for them. So really, they wanted to shut us down, but in return, they exposed themselves for everything, so it's I'm happy. It's like a win for me, not that this thing's about winning or losing, but when you're out there and you just feeling like the world is on your shoulders, everybody's attacking you from every angle. You got the racists, the Trumpers, the back the blue, the police, the city, and it feel like, so it was, I'm so happy about that. Like all dropped.
I know because 2020 brought a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like by the close of 2020, I really did expect things to have been dropped and to have been like whatever the decision was going to be, it would be done. So I was surprised to have gone into 2021 with this still going on. But I feel like things just flipped in 2021 all across the board, and then you can literally see people losing their power, losing their position. There were 2 police officers I heard in Newport Richey that lost their positions.
Shut up. Yeah, I missed that.
I'm gonna have to double check, but I think it was the 2 officers that were, there was some complaints put against them. I know their names were brought up at city council meetings.
Not regarding the Capitol, right?
I don't think it was regarding the
okay, that's what I was going to say. I'll say, what? Yeah, there's a few officers that we personally, as you guys know, anyone that follows Candace and stuff, that when we were protesting over the summer, there was the counter protester that was going to come out to defend, his country in his black clothes and his gun. And we canceled the march that night because of all the threats that was going on that night. And we were going to do a silent march that next day since, we were hit with the megaphone fines and we were being attacked. So we're going to do a silent march. Well, a dude came on and commented on the guy's page that was going to come out and protect his country. And it's like, oh, they're not going to be out there on Friday. They're actually going to have a silent march on Saturday. Dude's like, how do you know that? The police officer, Corey Oliver, is like, oh, well, I know per my intel or per my department's intel. And they're like, what's that? And they're like, Newport Richey Police Department. We brought it to City Hall Council for, come to find out, and then Valente, he's, I know they're investigating him because, as you know, when he broke the rookie's jaw and then what he did to Nikki and so on and so forth. So we've ruffled a lot of feathers, like, they finally got the body cams going. They're under investigation. People are paying attention. That's why I tell people, like, stand up in your little places that you're at, because when you do, they go underneath the fire. Now they know they're being policed. Yeah. Now they know someone's watching them. So now they're going to be a little bit different while they're out here just doing whatever the heck they want to people of color, because no one's out here paying attention. No one's out here looking at the rate that Black people are being arrested. No one's looking at the Chief Bogart and what, and now people are. So now it's like, it's different. And whether you get defund the police or not, like I said, if you get defunding the police is one thing, but what is defunding the police when the same police are there? We got to get the bad apples out. We got to literally request and protest that these officers that are continuing to terrorize the people and brutalize the people that are out and not rehired, you know? Mm-hmm. So like, it's definitely like stand up in your community and police the police, because it does. It doesn't seem like it, but it makes a big difference.
It really does. I feel like coming together, you know, making sure that there's transparency and a way to communicate back and forth between the community and, you know, the system of different departments is important. But you did raise a point about police officers are often fired for conduct, you know, going against the code of conduct. But the problem is there's no system to track them. Mm-hmm. And so they end up going to another precinct, and they work together to do this. Mm-hmm. They know it. They're not gonna put nothing to keep them under the scope. Yeah. So they're not gonna create anything. It's up to us to create councils, mm-hmm, and advisory boards, and there's one in the works under, you know, Bill Dumas. He works very hard to try to get that assembled and everything like that. But that is for that, so that when things happen, the community has a voice to say, investigate that. We want to hire an outside somebody to look into this.
To look into it.
Right. Not somebody you appointing, because that's what they do. They appoint their own person. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're going to come out and say, right, you know, it's like, right. That's the game.
And that's what we've been doing too, is just, you know, looking who's in the police, looking them up. I mean, there's already, like, most of the information we got on the police officers in Newport Richey is public information. So we go ahead and make it public for everybody else to know. Did you know that this police officer, did you know what I'm saying? So like, we can do our own investigation. You know, while they paying attention to us and they policing us and they investigating us, we need to be doing the same thing. We need to know as much about them as they seem to want to know about us. Like, and that's what Black Lives Matter-Pasco been really doing. Like, we trying to figure out who you guys are, who's policing these streets, you know? Like, you got one that's going to sympathize with Kyle Rittenhouse. You got another lady with the Confederate flag, and another one putting our intel out there. Let me mind you, they look pretty friendly with the Proud Boys. You're telling me none of the police officers are friends with none of the Proud Boys, because they show close with the Trumpers. They really, I mean, so I think that there's a lot of stuff that needs to be investigated in Newport Richey Police Department, because Chief Bogart is almost like an old dude that's senile, that don't pay attention to nothing, and he just hired everybody. Because if he just take a look at half the people he hired, like, they've been fired for other stuff, you know, like.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Oh, Lord, it's a lot more work to be done. Thank you for all of your efforts in the community, because they have not, you know, gone without something great happening. I think a lot of people see, you know, oh, wow, these things have come to pass, and they were always telling the truth. They were always trying to show you all. I even saw the attorneys that were on your case put out a statement. And they put out a statement basically saying you guys were never found to have been looting, you know, vandalizing anything. No types of violence or anything was ever able to be said of over 100 days of protesting, which I know it was.
Only peaceful. We hardly took the roads. We were nothing but peaceful. If me being loud and Black is not peaceful for you, boo-boo, I'm sorry. Because I'm going to always be loud. I'm going to always be proud. I'm going to always be Black and Puerto Rican. Let me represent for both sides. That's going to always. So they're just frustrated that, like, you just can't shut me up. And I'm just loud with or without a megaphone. Like, that's my only crime. My only crime is being loud and annoying the hell out of you. Okay. That's it. Like, you going to throw me in jail because of that? Like, come on now.
Okay, yeah, they really want you. They really want to do that. You know, they really
can't do. Just listen. They really won't do that, girl.
They really do.
Your blinker right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, they don't want you speaking the truth to anybody. You know, that's dangerous for you to expose them. That's dangerous. Like I said, it's a threat to their
Yeah.
way of life, to their way of doing things. So yeah, they will use whatever powers they have. But because you all continued, they weren't able to get away with it.
Nope.
Hmm.
No, they wasn't.
Okay. So what's coming up? What do you all have planned to, what's your plan of action
Yeah.
for 2021?
Well, I really hope, people understand that Black lives still matter and we still being killed out here. Don't matter who is in office. It's never mattered who's in office. So everybody need to get get back moving, because here in Pasco County we got some real issues going on that we need to deal with the Pasco County Sheriff's Department. I mean, they're targeting our children. They're pre-crime policing our
Yeah.
children based off their grades, based off if something terrible happens in the home, versus helping our children,
Right.
versus doing something to help them if they're falling behind. They're targeting them and deciding whether or not they're going to be a criminal. On top of the intelligence led police, because they think that someone might commit another crime. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now that we definitely need to put a lot of focus on, a lot of attention on. I've had a couple of teachers even, contact me about it because they didn't know what was going on. I mean, they have a secret list of all these children that, that they get to decide are going to be a criminal or not. Like, it's crazy. So our next focus, we're letting things kind of die down, because obviously people are raiding capitals, people's feelings is hurt. People are not happy that I mean, if I believed in that stuff, I'd say he was the Antichrist, the way these people run around here like he's their dang savior. But
Yeah.
it's a lot going on. So we're kind of keeping it cool right now, waiting for things to die down, because obviously in this town, people get really in their feelings, and I'm not trying to have nobody get hurt. But definitely we're focusing on the Pasco Sheriff's Department, and we really need to shut down what they're doing with our children, and things like that. So that's definitely like our focus right now.
Okay. Well, I agree. There is an urgent need to know more about that program that they started, the Pasco Sheriff's Office under Sheriff Naco. That program is basically they're looking at students that have been under any experience of trauma, family related trauma, things like that. They've created a list and entered those children into a
Yeah,
database.
I'm actually.
Mm-hmm. To continue to monitor them
Oh
and
no, go ahead.
monitor
Sorry.
them. And so that is something that I feel like a lot of parents
Mhm.
need to be aware of and know, so that if you've had domestic issues or something where the police have gotten
Yes.
to come out and your kids were maybe involved, your children may possibly be
Mhm.
on the list for
Mhm.
them to watch as they
Yes.
grow up.
Let me mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me just throw this out there. Okay. Black and white children. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For all of you out there that want to dismiss it because it's coming out of Black Lives Matter mouth right now, they're targeting your children too. Because let's face it, white people are doing drugs too. White people's children going through some shit too. They're being abused too. So let's remember, as a community, this is not just a Black issue. This is a issue of our children. And if not so, even more so, Black children are going to be more targeted in school.
Absolutely. It is. Because when
So
it
let's just really understand, just because Black Lives Matter is bringing this issue, don't dismiss it. Don't act like, oh, it's because they're saying it don't matter. No, like, y'all need to pay attention to what they're doing to your children, white children, okay? Your
yeah,
children too, because this is happening. This can affect them, but you're too busy worried about the label Black Lives Matter. And I think that it's time that maybe you pay attention to what Black Lives Matter is doing and why, and get on board before one of your children ends up in a situation that you don't want them to be in, because you don't like the organization Black Lives Matter.
hmm, absolutely. Yeah, because this is where it falls into a class situation, and most
Exactly.
likely it is, people that are in poverty communities and
Exactly.
impoverished areas that they're going through stuff like that, where they're more than likely to have those type of experiences. So your children will be more than likely targeted. And you have to recognize that those offices are still businesses and they need ways to make money. They need more positions for people. And this is opening up more revenue for them. We have to understand that part of it too, because it plays a role in the decisions they continuously make against our communities. And they're going to look to target our communities first.
Yep.
To make money out. What can we do? What is the next thing? They're planning always on how they can continue to look for programs, to get grants, to get money from the state, to get money for whatever, to show how they need money to police our communities.
Right.
That's what we got to recognize.
Right.
And then, of course, they're not going to target their neighbors' communities. They don't want to bother them. They don't want none of this. They don't want none of that. They're going to come to our communities to do that. And then at that point, it don't matter if you Black or white.
That's what you need to understand too in this area too. Like, it's more white people, and people need to understand why the Trumpers is coming out, why the Black, the Blues coming out, why little Proud Boys, all of y'all. At the end of the day, they don't care about that. At the end of the day, your children are still going to be targeted in the schools. Why are you fighting us? This is not, I don't care what happened with George Soros. I don't care what the organization on the national level did. Like, this is for real. Like, this is like, there's real issues happening and y'all need to jump on it. Like, get over the label Black Lives Matter and understand, like, your little looking at Trump, your little, oh, Trump and everything y'all doing, and you're coming out and protesting against us back in the blue when you don't realize you back in the blue, but you bro, like you poor too. You ain't got no money. You in the same situation I am. I'm just more targeted because the color of my skin, but are you joking? Like, our kids, Black and white, are about to be targeted, and y'all too busy over here back in the blue and giving the hell about a Trump sign. When what about like everything else that really matters? Because Trump is not, like I keep trying to tell people, Trump nor Biden, no, nobody's gonna save us, and they're gonna save our children.
Yeah, it is up to us.
It's up to us to do it. Storm the Capitol, they probably on the, on the level of not making a whole bunch of money, and the few that are there, it's just a shame, like, it's a shame that they keep looking at Black Lives Matter as a political thing that they got to come out and protest against. But it's like they said, racism is so embedded in this country that when you do protest against it, people literally think that you're protesting against America. And it's like, I'm American. Y'all coming at me like I'm American. My child's American. I was born here. You know what I'm saying? My mama was born here. Like, what do you, it's not about like, it's that I am American. I want what's best for all Americans. It's not about being anti-American. Like, I am American. I am in this country. Like, I want it to be a place for all people. And they just have this thing of like, oh, you guys are anti, but y'all the only ones breaking up capitals. And I mean, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure, how many cops did we kill over the summer? Like, but y'all back the blue though. Like, it's just so.
Well, it's going to be that generation that's going to die with their Confederate flags in their hands. They're going to die believing what they believe. But I feel like there is a lot of hope with the next
generation. Yes.
And that's where we got to put our focus in. There's so many ways that we can start recruiting young people and people in the community that get it and that see it, and not worry about trying to convince the old, because they believe
it's too late. It's the time. I'm gonna tell you, when I first started protesting, the thing that kept, I remember the first time I went, I think it wasn't Tarpon, it was the second one I went to, but I remember in that moment, I seen, like, I cried. Like, I literally cried, because for me, and being a Black person and the way that you look at life and how you're taught, that you naturally think like, white people, they don't really mess with us. You know what I'm saying? There's a few, they cool, but you think on a big level, like, for the most part, white people, they just seem like so many people, like especially like white people out there in so many races. Like I literally was so emotional because I was like, oh my God, like this is the time right now. Like why, like look at all these people, like it wasn't just me. So many, I seen so many videos of Black people just crying because it was so great to like see, like, nah, man, like these are our brothers and our sisters too, you know, like they with us in solidarity to like, you know, to help us fight this racism. And that's what I want everyone to understand. Like, it is not Black against white, man. My daughter is half white. It is literally Black and white against racism. And when I say like this summer just gave me that, like, I don't know, that feeling I was missing my whole life, you know, because I come from, you know, parents being on drugs, the dad, all that crazy. I was like, wow, I almost want to cry talking about it because I was like, look at all these people right now, like marching for the same purpose. Like, you don't feel that every day. Like, that's not a feeling that you can feel every day in your life that everybody gets to feel. And that's a feeling of like, wow, like we really doing this together. Like we in solid, like it's crazy. Like I will say, even though this was the most craziest, scariest, emotional time, it was the best time of my life because like I met like so many like-minded people, you know, like I met you, all the people that we like, it's just crazy. Like everyone that I've met makes me want to keep doing this because like, I just never knew this was this many people that cared, you know what I'm saying? So to see that, it's just, it was so amazing to me, like, a little baby. Like 2020, y'all, I will not forget it. I will not forget it, I tell you.
I agree. It was life-changing, a life-changing year.
Yes.
Well, I feel like it's gonna continue to be that way, 2021. You know, it's just gonna continue to be that way. And we gotta be ready for the ride. We just gotta be ready.
Oh, I'm ready, girl. I'm ready. I'm ready for everybody to get off their butt. I'm ready to march. I'm ready. Like, y'all need to. I don't know what everybody doing, but y'all need to. This thing ain't over. Like, don't. I mean, anybody that said Black Lives Matter, but you done now that election time, I don't know about you. I'm gonna be looking at you kind of funny. Let me not see your ass next summer or next election time out here. Okay.
Right.
When 10 Black folks already done died, like.
Okay. Yeah, no. I do feel like it has to be a continuation to continue to educate the community, you know, and enlighten them, you know, on what's going on and how they can participate and how, you know, the change happens, you know. So I just want to encourage you all to continue, you know, to do what you do, and we'll be here to keep everyone updated on what's going on.
Yes.
Or whatever. So everybody definitely go to Facebook and give everybody your handles so they'll know how to find you.
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, Black Lives Matter-Pasco, or you could look at, I think it's, let me think, I think it's at Pasco BLM. You can look it up. There's also Instagram, Black Lives Matter-Pasco County. There's only like one Black Lives Matter-Pasco, y'all find it.
Exactly. All right. So thank you so much for joining today. Yes. We'll definitely be in touch and keep everyone updated.
Yes. Thank you, Candace, so much. Thank you. You have a good one.
All right. Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye.